What is up, everybody? Hope you're all doing fantastic and trying to be a better you every single day. This is episode 20. 20, guys. We are out of fingers and toes to count. I guess I'm gonna have to invest in a good abacus to keep track of the episode count from here on out. If anyone knows a master abacus creator, shoot me a DM on Twitter at itsthugwigNasty. Just kidding. But seriously, if you know a master abacus crafter, that's pretty amazing. These past few weeks have been a bit of a roller coaster. Lots of high moments with new exciting opportunities, and a few low moments with PC problems and being sick. Reflecting on these things led me to this week's topic. Today, I kind of want to talk about making the best of situations, good or bad, because we really do have more control than we may realize. Most of the time, things and situations are not going to be optimal, because that's just how life is. Shit happens. A lot. We can waste our whole lives searching for perfection. If we can only find happiness if the situation we are in is perfect, then we are in for a pretty depressing existence. How we react to situations and how we allow these situations to affect us is very much controlled by us. Though most of us struggle with this, we struggle to find the light in the dark. We tend to react irrationally and emotionally when faced with a bad situation. Here's the thing, guys, if we are constantly focusing on the shit, guess what's going to happen? You guessed it, the shit. If we focus on negativity, we will all become negative. Focusing on all the bad in our lives will make us miss out on a lot of good and will most definitely keep us from reaching our full potential. So if we reverse the polarity here and stop focusing on the bad and the negative and start focusing on the good or the things we want or want to achieve, we are going to have a much better go at this whole life thing. We need to be sure we are focusing on what will bring us the most fulfillment in life. That's a hard word, is fulfillment. But we need to be focused on what's going to bring us the most fulfillment in life. It's almost like a tractor beam. Sucked me right in. Find the thing that you are going after, and if you can keep your focus on it, you have a better chance of success. We already know what it's like to not be focused on something. Everyday life is constant bombardment of, hey, look at me, hey, over here, oh, pretty, flashing lights, negative news, etc. I promise, if you can find a way to remain focused on the goal or the thing that you want, like really focus, like it's a top priority to get there, then you're likely gonna get that. Is it possible to find good in any situation? I'd say probably, but those extreme cases would be rough and would probably have to be broken down into some philosophical level of something learned. There's been many times in history where terrible or tragic things happened, but something positive came from the situation. Let's take it to the fictitious realm of a Marvel movie for a minute and say the world was extremely overpopulated, running out of resources, running out of food and fuel, and the planet was dying, and then this big purple dude named Thanos had this gauntlet that he could just wipe out half of all living creatures with a single snap. Instead of an entire population dying a slow death of starvation, dehydration, you have half the population left who can now live more comfortably and allow the planet to recover from the overuse of its resources. So yeah, a tragedy, but allowing humanity to continue on. See, you kind of have to have that philosophical thing going on. Luckily, these are not the circumstances we face on a daily basis, for now. What we are typically looking at is something that is not going according to plan, but you can try to take value away from it anyways. That's the place we want to get to. Making the best of any situation and allowing it to provide you with something good, whatever that may be. So recently I found out I wouldn't be able to broadcast gameplay of Anthem. It's an EA game. It's coming out very soon. Actually, this week. Which I was really excited about this game, okay? All this money I have dumped into a computer, and now I need a second PC to be able to stream it. Not to mention the CPU cooler on my current PC broke and was causing my CPU to overheat, so I just put even more money into my computer. Here's the thing, Streaming is not my livelihood. I don't need it to make money or support my family. It's something I had fun doing, but if my computer can't handle doing it, we're not going to do it. Plain and simple. Looking into solutions like going back to console and streaming with a capture card, because I got a capture card lying around, but I don't have a good console to use right now, so maybe I'll pick one up in the next few months. This little hiccup in streaming and PC issues have kind of been a slap in the face for me. These last few weeks have helped me refocus on my 10-year plan. I have a very specific place I want to be at in the next 10 years, and streaming video games has nothing to do with me reaching that goal. If anything, it's kind of fogging my progress as it requires valuable time I could be using to actually make headway on those goals, even though I'd have to make sure that those time that I was streaming is actually used on progressing towards those goals. Anyways, different situation. What I'm saying is, I am in a situation where I am disappointed with how things are panning out, with my computer and the games and streaming, but due to that disappointment, it has caused me to refocus on the goals that have become a bit foggy. We have to make the best of what we get dealt. I mean, you and I still woke up this morning, right? We were gifted with yet another day of life. If we can't even be grateful for that, how can we expect to be appreciative of anything else in our daily lives? Being grateful and appreciating what we have help improve what we view as bad situations. So much easier to find the good in anything when we are more grateful of what we actually have. Sure, I hate driving 40 minutes to and from work every day, but I'm grateful that I have a good job. Sure, I hate staring at a computer screen all day at work and then doing it more at home, but I'm grateful that I work in an office and I'm not cleaning up someone else's shit or scraping roadkill off the side of the road. Not knocking those jobs, somebody's got to do it, and I appreciate those people. Like we've said before, it is so easy to fixate on the things that we don't like, it clouds our vision of what we do like. We need to keep ourselves clearly focused on what we like because that brings us happiness, and a happy person does more good in this world than a negative one. Guaranteed. Finding what we value most will help move us forward. If we value nothing, then what is the point of it all? Really, seriously. Also, pretty tough to be a good human if you value nothing. It doesn't always have to be a bad situation, maybe just less good than you expected. Value that you were there, try to experience things with an open mind. I feel like we tend to overhype things. That's the kind of what we're going towards. Everything's overhyped, so that plays into our expectations a lot. This is going to be the best night ever! And when it turns out that it's not the best night ever, you're disappointed as hell. It was still a good night, or even a great night, that just went bad because of your unrealistic expectations. Probably that social media creeping in there again, overstimulating everyone with their highlight reels. People get that FOMO, or fear of missing out. We have to stop setting over-the-moon expectations and just learn to live in the moment. It can still be a great thing or a great time, even if it's not optimal. Failure is one of the most important things that we need to be able to find value in. You only truly fail when you fail to learn from those failures. So you set a goal and you fail. Did you learn something that can help you next time? Finding all the ways something doesn't work still progresses you towards that thing that does. Trying, failing, learning is a successful mindset. Trying, failing, not learning, quitting is true failure. Sometimes it can be rough. It's amazing how one thing can be so easy for one person and so difficult for others, even with seemingly similar skills or upbringings. Just know some people don't spend long practicing the basics. Sometimes it comes easy to them and they can move right on through it, while others may struggle to get those basics down, but once they do, they can move on to the more advanced things. And of course, there will be many who try and struggle with the basics and continue to compare themselves to seasoned veterans and will end up quitting or failing. Are you willing to fail? If you're not, you kinda already have. Win or lose, day or night, pass or fail, looking at these extremes and thinking there is nothing of value in between them is crazy. Mastering things takes time, like we've discussed before. You just truly can't skip ahead from not knowing something to knowing better than someone else does. It's no use becoming irrational or emotional over things. Keep a cool head and think about things logically. Then make the decision to act. Don't let that primal part of that brain control you. So be willing to fail. Allow your failures to guide you. Don't waste that newly found knowledge. Find value in that bad situation. The most successful people use failure to their advantage, learning what they, where they made the mistakes and how they can adjust and correct them in the future. I feel like I say this one on every episode of this podcast pretty much, but it's always about the journey, guys. That journey we are on is full of great times. It's full of failures, full of terrible times, full of happiness and sadness. But the whole time, we are learning what works and learning what doesn't. Learning what we like and love and what we prefer to keep out of our lives. Learning what it takes to be the best that we can be, and learning what we can personally offer this world and to those around us. So let's head on over to the last week's review and see if I obtained any value in this past week. So last week was one of those kind of crash and burn weeks. So one of those things, So last week I got my new CPU cooler in the computer because my last one kind of conked out on me. It was overheating while I was gaming and all that stuff, hoping that putting a new cooler in might help stream some games. But even with the new cooler, it still seems kind of stressed to be... The new games that have come out are just so CPU taxing, and I didn't plan for that. So now the games that I want to play are too taxing on my system to stream and play. I can play them, or I can stream games that I don't want to play. So I'm not going to be excited and enjoy playing games that I don't want to play. So, like I said, it gave me that kind of time to refocus, really look at what I want in the next 10 years and how I want to get there. And is this thing actually helping me progress towards that 10-year goal? And the answer is no. So, like I said, in 10 years, I don't see myself streaming video games for a living or making money on it. That's not what it was for. It was a way for me to be goofy and fun and act like myself. Again, I have to find that outlet because I need that outlet. Maybe I could incorporate the goofiness a little bit more into these podcasts. I don't know, but we'll figure it out. Either way, we're gonna keep going strong with this podcast because this compounded content that we talked about before, where we keep getting content out of every week so that I have something to give you guys that, provides value. And the problem with streaming is I can only stream a couple hours here, a couple hours there. After the broadcast, what was it worth, really? Like, almost zero people ever go back and watch VODs. So if they're gonna watch someone stream a game, they're watching them live. So anyways, yeah. So we got the new cooler in last week. We ordered some new cooling fans that I want to get in this weekend because I realized I only have one fan blowing an exhaust out of my machine. So I want to get in a couple or two or three more fans that I can kind of circulate the air in a better way. So that, because it feels like there's some heat kind of just hanging out in there. So I want to see if I can clear that out a little bit, get a little bit better airflow. So see about getting that done this week. Anthem came out on Friday. We started playing that Friday and Saturday. Having a really fun time with that already. I have heard some people saying that it's a slow-paced game and stuff. I don't know. I'm not super competitive. I just want a game that I can casually play. It's fun, it's challenging, and it's enjoyable for me. So I'm definitely going to play the crap out of it. And it's beautiful too. So, not streaming it allows me to play it in 2K, ultra high, definition. It looks amazing. And if you haven't checked out that game, definitely check it out. It actually releases this Friday for everybody else that doesn't have Origin Premiere or any of the early access things. So definitely check that out. But yeah, so next week we're just gonna plan on getting the podcast out and work on more podcasts. I want to start, laying groundwork for some of the plans I have in the future. But little baby steps. Always about taking just small steps to get you to that place you want to be, and not worrying about how small the steps are, as long as we're moving towards the goal and doing what we want to do. So I appreciate you guys hanging out, listening to this podcast, and I was rambling on. It was kind of a depressing kind of week, but we got some good news too, which I will let you know in either next week's episode or the following week's episode, which I'm super excited to tell you guys about. But yeah, I guess you'll just have to wait and see what that is. Haha! But for now, hit me up on Twitter, hit me up on Instagram at @It'sLudwigNasty, and I will catch you guys next Monday. Later, guys. Have a great week.